It's been a bit of a weird week, really, which I suppose why it's taken a while to get this uploaded. I've been feeling really bizarre, like properly bizarre. A couple of days I've been waking up, there's no rhyme or reason to the mood, but just in a really, really awkward headspace. I'm feeling really low and asking myself kind of like why? Like why am I still kind of here? What's the point? Like why don't you just, not be here anymore? So that's been really, really troublesome to deal with, and I didn't really want to bring it up or talk to it or anything like that, but then I thought this is what I do here. I address these things and talk to you guys about them. It's been a bit of a rough week, not just because of that, but also because I've been reading some of the comments, and when I was reading through the comments, part of me just felt really sad that a lot of comments seemed like they were coming from people who sound like there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of sadness in what they're sharing, and it makes me weirdly enough feel guilty that I almost shouldn't be allowed to have some of the things that I have while there's people out there that are hurting. And that took me off on a tangent in a kind of question, is there something like, I know there's like a God complex, right? But is there something in my brain that was like, it's like a sort of a Jesus complex where the individual, myself, feels that they have to almost sacrifice or feel that they're sacrificing parts of their life so that others can have a better life. So that kind of took me down a weird tangent, and in the end I stumbled upon the saviour complex, I suppose. And a lot of what I was reading about the saviour complex, about how you don't have boundaries, about how it's almost like you try and be there for other people, and it's like you feed off of other people's need for your help kind of thing, and that's kind of how it all links together. And I was like reading it and I was like, sugar, that feels like a lot of stuff that I've talked to the therapist about. It feels like it's all this saviour complex thing, which then obviously I had counselling and I was speaking to the counsellor, and all I could do was like look at him and sort of ask the question of like, how do you know if you're just somebody that's just got a lot of problems that are there because of experiences or stuff that you've gone through, versus somebody that's actually basically got some sort of mental issue, like properly, like schizophrenia, like multiple personality disorder, that kind of thing, where it's a little more than just problems. It's just been one of those weeks where I think because I analyse and overanalyse and overthink everything, I have been asking myself, or feeling at least, that how I feel about things, how I talk about things in my, to myself sort of thing, they're not normal. They're not normal. And I don't know if it's a case of always trying to find an answer, and if something can't be explained, you go for the, the easiest option to explain it. And that's why I feel like, well, if I feel so irregular or normal, whatever, then it has to be because there's some sort of actual mental issue. You're not just somebody with trauma or somebody with trouble. You are actually like mentally broken. And that kind of brings with it its own stresses, strains, overthinkings and everything else that goes with it. But the counsellor didn't really say much on that. But we kept talking about a lot of stuff, and I think I'm actually starting to find a potential route to a lot of my problems. And it was a holiday that happened when I was 12 years old. And on this holiday, when I was 12 years old, I saved the kid from drowning, and then I also got an ear infection, which meant I couldn't fly home. The implications of me getting that ear infection meant my family was split up. I watched my mum go through her own traumatic experiences where she's got to deal with a 12-year-old son on her own in a foreign country, not really knowing what to do or how to do anything, with very little money. I think we had one of those like travel card things for money, but you know, you're talking about a long time ago now. And then exploring like how I felt that I had to sort of grow up basically at that time to support my mum through stuff, because when it came to eventually being able to come home, we had to take 3 flights home, and my mum has a fear of flying. Like, she hated it. So to be 12 years old and know that you've got to take 3 flights with a person who's absolutely petrified to fly, I think it did a number on me at that age. Well, I know it did a number on me at that age, because it wasn't many months after we got back, it was probably like a matter of weeks actually, where I started to be petrified to go to school. I hated to be away from my mum, and I know how I felt, and I felt depressed at 12 years old, and I couldn't explain it to anybody because I didn't know what it was. You know, I wasn't physically hurt, I wasn't getting bullied at school or anything like that. It was genuinely a sadness. Like, life turned really dark, I suppose. And I remember certain times, and one of those things I remember is like I was lacing my shoes up, ready to go to school, and my mum would just ask me, "Are you okay?" And it was a time that if anybody asked me if I was okay, I just wanted to burst into tears and cry, because I wasn't. But I didn't know how to explain that I wasn't. I didn't know how to, you know, explain what I was feeling or anything like that. I've acknowledged the fact that that holiday has kind of dented me a bit, but I don't think I have fully understood the depths that it has kind of messed with me. You know, I'm happy to hold my hands up and acknowledge, yes, I have problems because of this holiday. But like I say, I'm genuinely not aware of how deep they are until sitting down with a counsellor and speaking with him. So hopefully this is going to be another area that we actually explore quite a bit of, to try and unpack a lot of emotion around it, I think, so I can let go of it, because I know that I've been carrying it, and carrying it in what sort of form, I don't know. I just know that it's been weighing on my mind, it's been weighing on my kind of person since that age, since 12 years old. It hasn't really helped me get over the fact of feeling or questioning how I'm wired, whether I'm wired right. I'm just somebody that's just, you know, battling through various different life problems and issues that you put on ourselves, or whether I am actually wired incorrectly and actually a little bit crazy. It's a tricky one to work out, but I just feel really blue at the minute. I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to do well at work and stuff, but that's took a really, really dark turn. Etsy, the website sales thing, has changed all its policies on what it sells. And if you guys don't know, I work in a business that makes a lot of adult products, and they're heavily hit by these changes on Etsy. The entire business has lost 60% of its potential income, 60. And we've gone from moving premises like to a bigger place and everything looking great, to literally my boss is talking about job security, how we're going to pay wages, how they're going to pay bills, like what's the worst case scenario. And one of them basically talking like we've got a month to 2 months to sort the problem out. So that's playing on my mind, but I'm trying to not let it. I'm not going to lie to you. I really, really enjoy the job that I do. You know, it's introduced me to a couple of really decent people, and it's given me a creative outlet to like learn stuff and do stuff, and I've genuinely really, really enjoyed it. And I've only been there 7 months, but the time has flown, and it's been so good. And it just feels like if that goes, that's something else again that I know is going to really hit my head. But I just thought I'd come out and speak to you guys, just see how everybody is really, and just to be honest, because I think that's what I at least try to do here. I wasn't going to, but you know, I thought I'd be honest. That, yeah, you know what? There's been some mornings when I've woke up and I've woke up fine, like woke up relatively happy. But then there's just a thought that creeps in that goes, you know, why are you still here? No, nothing's changing. Nothing's going to benefit you. The world's kind of in the bin. Why don't you just get it over with sooner rather than later? You know, and then just questioning if you are actually like sane as a normal person is in the world, or whether you are actually just emotionally drained or mentally tired of trying to mask that you're actually a bit of a weirdo in the sense of mentally unstable, I suppose. I don't know how to say it because whatever word I use feels too extreme, but I just want to like try and have you guys understand the thought process and how it feels, I guess. But as that helicopter has come over, I made a right old mess of things and I've only got a really low percentage of battery. I better go and I'll see you guys later. See you in a bit, guys.